All right, so to start out, just tell me a little bit about what's taking place right there.
Well, from the press conference, we're looking at this facility that has the potential to come to the state for funding after it's chosen by one of the 5 proposals that are coming into the city of Stratford. The town of Stratford owns the facility, owns the land, and from we've gathered, they will be leasing the facility to one of the 5 proposers that are bringing their proposals for redevelopment and opening the theater. I caught wind of this through my own connections and approached one of the developers. I took a look at their proposal. We're not backing any proposal because I have not seen them all, but the interest was the tourism and the arts. And as I put the budget together that I will be putting out through my campaign, we are looking at where we're going to have to do some deep cuts. The arts and tourism, we're looking at grants that go out, how to rebalance and reshape the state budget so that we don't lose crown jewels like this when they come to the table for some money or matching grants from the state, or facilities that we're actually giving maybe a little too much, like the Science Center, which is struggling, and we're putting a lot of money in there bleeding. So we're looking at the whole thing as we prepare the budget. So I go out in the field, take a look. This happens to be a potential. Now, a lot of people are worried and concerned that it may become something that had a problem. It did go bankrupt. The state took it over years ago. That was in the 80s. This is 2014. So it has a great history. Christopher Walken performed here. Lynn Redgrave, Will Geer. If you look at the who's performed here, and I think Phil Langler didn't really give enough about who his dad really was to the theater world and how he started and co-founded this theater as well as the Westport Country Playhouse. He started both, and Phil actually managed the Westport. So the history is it's still with us, and the people are still alive that remember it. For me, as an actor, also a New York trained actor, and a actor mentor for the Hartford Children's Theater for years, in the inner cities of Hartford, I think this also has the potential for children in Bridgeport, areas that may never get to see Shakespeare. They're going to have matinees here. There'll be classics also beyond Shakespeare. It's sitting here, almost 50 acres, and it's been dormant. There's many reasons why it hasn't come back yet, but I think this is the time. While we're looking at changing the budget, moving the direction of Connecticut, tourism and arts are going to be huge for Connecticut. The educated, Shakespeare being in Connecticut. Winston Churchill stated that in 1955 when this opened, that this was the 3rd leg of the stool of Stratford. Stratford, England, Stratford in Canada, and Stratford, Connecticut. So the history's here. It's been preserved. It's just waiting for some people with imagination, with the courage of town officials to take a chance, for state officials to actually look at this, at private donations and everyone. And from what I've gathered in the arts, because we worked for months on our plans for the budget and what works, what doesn't work in all the theaters, and I do have a history, like I said, in the theater. Right now the state of Connecticut is giving money to the Bushnell Auditorium, where I started my career in acting in the theater, and we're adding facilities. So we already do give. And so, but because my candidacy, we're looking at cutting, mothballing many programs. We have to really take a good look surgically at where we cut, what it affects. I don't want the arts to suffer. They're going to need to press back more on their donations, but the state can help and be fair. So I call it shared investment, not shared sacrifice like Governor Malloy. Shared investment by the state of Connecticut. This facility, I can't stress enough. Off-Broadway Shakespeare, what this means for Fairfield County, and this is the 3rd district, the 3rd district especially, with New Haven and Bridgeport, inner cities, where children can come. I can't stress enough, in my press release you probably saw my feelings towards the human being, the developing child, the imagination, as my Lieutenant Governor Chet Harris spoke about, the imagination, the wonder, the grace that comes with theater. And as an actor, I also know that children, especially with Common Core, where we're seeing the arts being cut and severely attacked, which I oppose the Common Core standards, now more than ever we're going to need the arts. And why is that important? The child, developing child, uses acting in play. And so it plays right into the developing child. And it's something that the developmental disabilities that are happening, if you go right down the line and look at what's happening to children on the computer, ADD, all these things, the arts have a fascinating way for the child, actually therapeutic to be able to pretend. And we all do it. We all did it as kids. Shakespeare is just the highest level of grace and meaning. And the training of it is something that was very big in the day. And like I said when I repeated Christopher Walken, the stars that are emerging, and there are new stars coming. They're coming up. They're all around us. They're living in Connecticut, and they'll come from New York here into Connecticut and take a look at it. We're already known for education, and but this is what's missing in, I believe, tourism. It will help this district. It will help the region. And I'm full on board on it. Whether I'm elected or not, I will still do this. This is important for Governor Malloy and Tom Foley both to engage this process and come out with whatever they will also. And I have full faith that they will. If they haven't seen it, when they do see the potential. And just because we're in severe debt, a lot of people are afraid, well, wait a second, how can we invest? Now we're going to need to really reallocate where we're spending across the state, and I don't want tourism and the arts to lose in this. I don't want them to be the losers. That's about it.